You were right. Last night I slept peacefully for the first time since my father died.
How touching.
Aha!
Tom?
You owe me more than you can imagine, Ms. Archer.
Called it!
I thought you...
Called it!
You have no idea what I put myself through, and I'm not gonna get a dime for it thanks to you.
You're the traitor.
Called it.
Hey, I'm not proud of what I did, but I was gonna get a handsome paycheck as compensation. A very handsome paycheck. Unfortunately, you had to go and blow up my benefactor.
Money? You betrayed the entire free world for money?
Spare me the self-righteousness. Everybody has a price. Even you.
You don't know anything about me.
Maybe not, but I've been in this business long enough to see what people are capable of. Anybody can talk about honor and patriotism, but those are just pretty words. When the money's on the table, the right amount of money, you'd be surprised how quickly you can change your tune.
Do you honestly believe that?
Of course I do. You know what a spy is? It's just some ordinary Joe who's willing to risk his life to sell out his country for a few measly bucks. We rely on these people. That's where most of our information comes from. The difference between them and us, other than our training as operatives, of course, is a price tag. Mine just happened to be about 100 times as much money. And now I get nothing thanks to you.
You're forgetting something, Tom. Those spies we recruit aren't patriots, they're cowards. We seek out selfish, hateful little people who place themselves above everyone else. We choose them because they're weak and greedy and arrogant, like you.
Touché.
Don't you understand what you did? People died because of you. Bruno died because of you.
Hey, Volkov killed him, not me. All I did was supply some information. I'm not responsible for how that information was used.
We'll see what the court thinks about that.
I didn't come here to surrender.
Pity for you.
Oh boy. Called it. For a while there I was thinking that... See, I was thinking that there wouldn't be enough time for him to do some... for the game to do something like this in the last moment. But clearly there is time. But I did suspect it was Tom. I did. Totally. I know I said maybe it was the mustache guy, but I totally did say it was Tom first. So it's legit. Also, I wish we had a better gun than this. This gun sucks, Kate. Your taste in gun is crap. Aw, man. Well, this is probably the most difficult boss battle we've had so far. And again, his life bar goes away. Crap. Of course it'd be the American. Oh, man, I'm gonna get my ass kicked from this. I don't have bullets that can wear him down. He's got bullets that can wear me down. Gotta rely on his bad aim. They start relying on the bad AI. Yes. Okay, there we go. Now I found the exploit, so now it's a breeze. Crap, maybe. Yep. No problem. What a
Drop
fool.
your gun.
Or what? Are you gonna shoot me in cold blood?
If I have to.
That's mighty tough talk for a little girl.
Heh. Nice. Up. Metaphor. Nice job.
Mr. Smith.
Oh.
What are you doing here?
Tending to some unfinished business.
What?
Mr. Jones.
Are you all right, Miss Archer?
Aye. What's going on?
There's your traitor.
You mean Smithy?
How long have you known?
I've suspected you for some time. You've only just now confirmed my suspicions.
So I was doubly right.
All this time you thought he might be a traitor?
Indeed, but I had to be sure.
You might have warned Bruno.
He did.
What?
Bruno.
Look out!
Oh. Bullet time. I shoot first. Boom. Oh. What the hell? What? What a twist. What a triple twist.
Everyone okay?
Okay.
Good shooting, Archer.
But what about Tom?
Tom Goodman died in Amsterdam.
Huh?
What? But I thought...
The man you knew as Tom Goodman was an imposter. His real name was Melvin Blitzney. He's a former vacuum cleaner salesman from Akron, Ohio.
Oh,
I don't understand.
that explains the grin.
It's quite simple. 7 years ago, Mr. Jones took Smithy off the active list due to his increasingly inadequate performance in the field. Mandatory retirement came as a great blow. Smithy, like many operatives, thought of himself as a man of action. He viewed his reassignment into the role of an administrator as an insult to his virility. He kept his dissatisfaction to himself, secretly plotting to discredit Jones and, in the process, line his own pockets. To this end, he recruited Melvin Blitzney, who underwent plastic surgery, extensive training, and months of voice lessons in order to become Tom Goodman, for whom Smithy, meanwhile, laid a deadly trap in Amsterdam.
What's that bottle in the
How did
background?
Smithy hook up with a vacuum cleaner salesman from Ohio?
Apparently, they met in a bar in Florida on one of Smithy's last assignments. Anyhow, with Goodman out of the way and no one any the wiser, Smithy launched the next phase of his scheme, which was to nurture a relationship with an up-and-coming terrorist organization. He chose harm. His plan was to create an international incident of staggering proportions and simultaneously cripple Unity so that we would have no choice but to capitulate. Such an unmitigated failure would force Mr. Jones to step down, giving Smithy control of Unity and also a handsome payoff in a secret bank account in Zurich.
But what about Morocco?
It was a trap meant to snare us both. Mr. Jones and I agreed that it would serve as a perfect opportunity for me to disappear for a while.
You might have warned me, you know.
We couldn't risk tipping our hand.
You mean you didn't think I could keep a secret?
Keeping a secret wasn't enough. Smithy had to believe I was dead, which meant that you had to believe it as well. I'm truly sorry, Kate.
Oh, you will be. But there are still some things I don't understand. Smithy was extremely forthcoming with information for someone who wanted us to fail.
Every mission he sent you on was a trap. Eventually it occurred to him that you were far more competent than he had anticipated, but it was already too late by then. You'd outwitted him. Besides, if he'd attempted to conceal information, he would have drawn suspicion to himself, which he couldn't afford.
But why did Tom, or Melvin, whatever his name is, blow up the cargo freighter?
To get rid of you, of course.
But Inga Wagner and Magnus Armstrong were aboard the ship.
They were expendable.
If you knew all this, why didn't you just arrest Smithy and be done with it?
Because we didn't know all this until very recently. Your investigations revealed much of the information we needed. But the final piece of the puzzle fell into place yesterday afternoon, when I found this in Smithy's flat.
The puppet.
Indeed.
Unbelievable.
I'm sorry I had to deceive you, Kate.
Sorry's not good enough. Do you have any idea how devastated I was?
Oh, chill out.
I should leave you two alone. I'm sure you've plenty of catching up to do.
You certainly looked sad.
What do you mean?
Well, I was watching when you came to pay your respects.
You were spying on me?
Not intentionally.
I ought to kill you myself. Who's buried here anyway?
No one. It's an empty casket.
An empty casket?
Calm down.
Don't run away from me. Come back and take what's coming to you.
Kate, please. You're overreacting.
I'll show you overreacting, you bastard.
Okay. Well, good game, good game. I enjoyed that. That was a little bit of a quirky ending, but okay. So it did. Smithy, the guy who I thought was too obvious to be the traitor, was a traitor, but also Tom, the guy I thought would be the ideal twist traitor, was also a traitor as well, sort of, kind of. They explained how, kind of, yes, sort of, no. Right. Okay, well, I enjoyed that game. That was very enjoyable. Excellent. The best part were the characters. The characters and the dialogue made this game. If there wasn't for that, if the dialogue, that sharp dialogue wasn't there, either between characters in-game or between characters in cutscenes, and if the characters' personalities didn't pop like they did, this game wouldn't have been half as good. But I found the running and gunning to be fun. The levels felt short enough that they didn't outstay their welcome. even though I'd get lost now and then, which is kind of annoying. But that's more my own fault, I suppose. I really enjoyed just the aesthetic of the game, just the style of it. It really did feel like I was in kind of a James Bond style game. Well, James Bond with more of a colorful 60s Austin Powers twist to it. Great sense of humor in the game, great fun. Biggest downside, definitely those boss battles. Those are pathetic. Come on. Oh well, I guess you can't have it all, right? I did like how that boss battle, so to speak, with the Baroness was just so short in contrast to the slightly more complicated ones with the other people you had to fight. So I did like that contrast there. I hear there's a second game, but I was told by the guys who recommended this that it's really not worth looking into. I've heard that it's kind of crappy, but that may or may not be so. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. As for Kate Archer, I think it was a neat story of her proving her competence, and I guess it should have been pretty apparent that Smithy was kind of setting us up to go and get ourselves killed when with all those missions going awry. Although there's an awful lot of people assuming things, right? I mean, I see how the guy who pretended to be Tom could have, like, been wearing a bulletproof vest beneath and then made sure to get shot in the back so it would have been deflected or whatever, so he wouldn't be killed. But it was a pretty big risk with Bruno, because I mean he decided to fake dead, but he had to hope that he'd be shot in the heart or somewhere in the abdomen, right? Because personally, I've been going for headshots all game, and if Volkov would have taken a headshot at him, he would have been dead. All right, so that's a pretty big risk there. Same with anyone who is like, hey, I'll pretend to be dead by getting shot in front of someone. Oh, what's this?
I'm afraid I have bad news.
Oh, he's not dead.
I'm already aware of the situation, Dimitri. No matter, we'll just have to do better next time, won't we?
What, the random drunk we've seen? So the random drunk that we've seen so far, all across the game, is the real head of everything then? The guy who is always standing around going, I'm drunk, and he's holding a martini? Huh. What a twist! That was pretty cool. I didn't like that. Although, I don't like that Dimitrov is still alive, because that means he might go after Armstrong. I don't want that. Armstrong was the best character in the game. He was awesome.